Hey guys, happy Monday to everybody. I wanted to pop in today, make a video for multiple reasons. Yesterday I did not get a chance to make a video. I was actually grooming my dogs all day, not all day, all afternoon. So it takes me several hours to groom all three of my dogs. So that was my priority yesterday, and I still wasn't feeling the greatest, but I am happy to report that today I am feeling so much better. So I think I am, even though I might sound a little nasally, my apologies, I do feel so much better, which is so amazing. So yay for that. But I wanted to kind of make this video because I got some really great questions. So one of the positive things that came out of this Guardian interview article video is that I got a lot of really great questions from people, both collectors within the community and non-doll collectors outside of the community that reached out via social media, asking different questions that I thought were very on point, just well thought out. And I thought, what a great way to kind of answer them is to do a little series of Reborn Mommy. Well, wait, let me rephrase that. Confessions of a Reborn Mommy, because ultimately they're really good questions. And I do generally answer questions that people have along the way in my videos, but sometimes I don't get to them, and sometimes I don't want to address some of them, but I thought these are great questions and this would be a good way to do it. So the question we're going to address today is by a fellow collector, and the question is, do I secretly want to be found out? Do I want to get caught via outside of the doll community? So by putting myself out there and doing this Reborn article with The Guardian, was I secretly hoping to get caught or found out by my local community and my colleagues and people around me that don't currently know or aren't aware of my doll collecting? And I'm going to start off by giving a very simple answer of no. But I'm going to delve into that because it's just not quite that simple. So a lot of people find it confusing that I generally say that I am a private type of collector because I put myself out on social media and because I'm showing my face on camera. I'm very much into multiple forums and things like that. So if I don't want to be found out, or if I don't want to make it publicly known, why do I put myself out there, and why do I do any type of social media? And that's a very good question. And I can see from the outside perspective that it is very confusing and quite contradictory at times when I say that I want to be private. I want to keep, my happy place to myself, that type of thing, because I've said that from time to time. But let me explain. As much as I was hoping for the Guardian article to help normalize the hobby, I was hoping that by normalizing it, by doing a good job, which they didn't, that should somebody outside the doll community that I perhaps do business with, work with, would not see it as being creepy. So I found it, it still stresses me out. The fear is still there that somebody I work with, somebody that I know within the community will have read this or seen this article, seen the video, and then approach me about it. It has not happened yet. And it is a concern. I worry about that definitely happening. And I'm casting a shadow. I hate that I cast a shadow. So yeah, it's a huge concern. I just kind of pushed that back to the back of my mind and decided to do the article, even if it risked me being caught or found out, quote unquote. And I guess there's a part of me that wants this to be normalized. I want this hobby to be seen as mainstream, even though deep down I don't think it will ever be that, because of one simple thing. It's called Uncanny Valley, and I've heard multiple other collectors talk about this in response to why so many people's initial response is that's creepy. It is a very natural response when an inanimate object looks so realistic, it freaks people out. So it's a real thing. And I think that that's generally what I always hope people would overcome and then maybe see it. And the more they see it, I guess that it would become more normalized. that was my hope for the Reborn article. It didn't happen. I mean, to us within the community, most people have thought it was actually done quite well and came across well, but from the outsider's perspective, it's generally not the case. It will be judged, it will be picked on, it'll be made fun of. I've seen it happening already. And that's what I was hoping that would kind of maybe not happen. I know, pipe dreams, I know. But ultimately, even though I put myself out there in videos, even though I share my hobby on multiple avenues of social media, different platforms, I really am still a private collector. It is just something that I enjoy quietly. I don't meet up with people locally, even though there are a couple of collectors near my area or in my area. But I choose to pick the amount of time that I spend with my reborns or dolls to a very minimal amount of time. And it may not seem that way because you see me making videos. I was portrayed as kind of sitting and hanging out with my dolls a lot. Not the case. I'm actually a very regimented person. And I have a lot of other things in my life that take priority way ahead of my dolls. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I spend very little tidbits amount of time with my dolls. I do like to hold Monroe. I go through phases where I don't hold any doll for long stretches of time, and I just am holding them to change them, picking them up to, do an outfit change for a video. But because I am an OCD, very regimented person, I kind of schedule. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, and maybe some of you, anybody that has OCD out there will understand this, but for those that don't, you'll probably think I'm a little crazy. But I do have kind of like a very scheduled type of way I look at the time I spend doing things. And in order to keep my life balanced and feeling good and not spending too much time in any one place or any one thing that I designate my time to, it's a scheduling thing for me. I look at it as a very delicate balance. So like, for instance, you guys know that I work out a lot. That is also scheduled into my me time. But if I do too much, I get sick of it, and it gives me the feeling like, nope, I don't want to work out as much, and I can overdo it. So I know myself, and I know what works for me, and I know what's good for me. So I am very regimented of a certain amount of time that I spend doing bar classes, yoga classes, Pilates, and just cardio and stuff like that. I am also the same way with my dolls. Like, if I have things that I need to get done during the day, I have to make sure those things are done in order for me to be able to really sit and enjoy my dolls. So if I have 10 other things I have to do, I can't come into my nursery and just happily spend time with my dolls. It's just, there's something looming over me, and I have to get those things done. And it's almost like my reward is to come in and spend time with my dolls. And that might seem excessive or extreme, but that is how I am as a person. It's also how I make sure I get everything done that I need to in a day, So that's just kind of how I am. And there's times where if I've spent too much time with the dolls, and it feels overwhelming, like when I did this article, when they were here, because I spent so much time holding Monroe, way more time than I would have ever spent holding her any given time, I had to literally take a break from being in the doll room with the dolls. It was like a solid week, I think, before I really came in and spent any time with them, because I was just kind of over it. It was a lot. It was overwhelming for me, and I needed to take a step back and just kind of breathe, do other things, kind of reset myself and reset the balance of everything in my life. I need everything in moderation. That's how I've learned to have the longevity in this hobby over the 20 plus years that I've been collecting, is because I know how to moderate how much time I spend with the dolls so that I don't get sick of them. That is a very real thing for me. And so voila, it works for me, but I am still very private. No, I don't want my neighbors to know that I collect dolls. I mean, a big part of that really is my work colleagues and my immediate work colleagues that I'm closest with, that I work with on an everyday basis. I think would think this is very cool because they know me. But because I have so many people that I work with that don't know me very well, because, you know, it's very business type of relationship, those would be the people that would judge me, and that is my concern. So someday, like when I retire, I won't care. But it really does boil down to my professional life and the fact that I need to have a job. I enjoy my job, so I don't want to jeopardize it. So being judged and people thinking I'm, you know, it's a little odd that I collect dolls is in the back of my mind. What do I do if this happens? I haven't really crossed that bridge yet. In my brain, I figure the longer out we go from this, so, you know, on Wednesday it'll be a week that it's been out, and it kind of gets buried in other stories, and I'm kind of happy about that because I'm ready to move on, if that makes sense. So I'm hoping that none of my work colleagues actually see this. Like I said, nobody's approached me and asked me about it, but I have had a lot of non-doll collectors reach out on social media and have asked me some good questions. So this is kind of what I'm going to do with these questions, is just kind of make a little series. You guys should let me know if you like hearing these questions and answers. I think that they're just different in things that people haven't asked me, especially the ones from outside the community, because not a lot of people, I mean, I do get people that run across my channel, they stumble on it, but they don't ask super great questions most of the time. They're usually like snarky remarks, which I could care less about. But when they really show an interest and are inquisitive, I like to answer those questions. I like to, it's kind of like the opportunity to share our hobby and kind of explain it so that maybe they'll see it as not so creepy and, you know, from initial responses. I don't know. I just look at it as an opportunity to perhaps maybe win over a new potential collector, because that's how this community has grown now, hasn't it? Like, let's face it, that's how many people through these documentaries were intrigued enough to look into the doll hobby, and then some of them became collectors, and we have grown exponentially over the years. So I don't know, I guess I always hope we'll be mainstream, guys. Do I think we will? Probably not, but I can, you know, girl can hope. But I thought it was a great question. I will not share who actually asked the question because I did not ask their permission, but it was a great question. So if you're watching, I hope you enjoy hearing my answers and kind of an explanation on, you know, me as a collector, the type of collector that I am, and that I really don't want to be outed. That's why if I take my dolls out in public, I never go throughout my neighborhood generally. It's very rare unless I know people aren't home. I know too many of my neighbors. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Fear of being judged. And I'm not ashamed of our hobby. Like, it's not because I'm ashamed. It's because of the fact that it's my job. It really boils down to it's about my job and the title that I have and the people I work with, that, you know, it's important for them to see me professionally. And I don't know what the outcome would be if they did find out. I guess, you know, you never know. I don't know. I always want it to be accepted, though. And when I'm retired, I won't care, and I'll probably be walking my doll in a stroller amongst, you know, throughout my community and not care. So there it is, guys. That's the answer to this question. I hope you enjoyed it. I've got little Monroe, who is clearly in just a little diaper and a little bow in her hair. I love this baby and just her skin. And you can tell I'm a little sick. I am sounding a little bit better as the days go on, but there she is. She's so beautiful. And it's so nice out that I don't feel bad leaving her in just her little diaper in here. She's so cute. She's just hanging out. She's just chilling. I'm loving my seat. Love her in it. She's so cute. So there you go, guys. I hope you're all having a great start to your work week. If you're working, if you're not, hope you're enjoying whatever it is you're doing. I will be back on at some point to do an outfit change for either the babies or both. Who knows? We'll see how the week goes. But until then, guys, we will see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.